Hello and welcome back to another episode of my F1 2020 My Team Career Mode. Now the intro isn't actually recorded properly, for some reason something happened with the video file, so I'm just doing this in post quickly. Obviously it's the Australian Grand Prix today, and this is the development upgrade that I bought in the intro. Obviously I would have shown that off in the video, but of course the video hasn't recorded properly for some reason, so I'm not sure why that is. So we'll transition to the end of FP1. So then at the end of the first practice session, as you can see, there's 5 minutes to go, so there's not enough time to do the last thing, the race strategy, so I'll have to do it in FP2. But we've done the track acclimatization, we got perfect on that, we got perfect on the tyre management, we only got optimal on the fuel management, but it was very, very difficult to do that for me. We got perfect on the ERS management, we got perfect, actually no we didn't get perfect on the qualifying pace, we just got optimal, but again that was quite difficult then. But we have done the R&D objective, the engine at ERS, use the updated engine specification, utilise additional power to record a competitive top speed. Although apparently we are last in the speed trap, so quite how that's competitive I don't know. So we'll skip to the end of this session then, and we'll go into the next one, and I'll finish off the R&D things there, and then we'll head into qualifying.
The session has drawn to a close, so let's review our top three. A Mercedes, Vettel and Charles Leclerc. And that's it, practice is officially over. Until next time, goodbye.
So apparently according to David Croft we're in a Mercedes, that's what he's just said. So obviously you can see we're the only driver that's done a time on soft tyres, so that is why we've topped the session. By the way, it's not because I put the difficulty too easily, it's because we did a qualifying objective. We were down in like 15th, 16th place before we're on the medium tyres. Looks like Correa is quite far off the pace, but he was faster than Nicholas Latifi, so that is definitely something. So then here in FP2 we've done the race strategy now, so that is the end of free practice. For me, I'll probably simulate free practice 3 and then we'll head into qualifying. So here we are for qualifying then, and once again a nice little cutscene showing us off the circuit, some of the different corners. And there I am sat in the biker racing car. So then this first session is going to be crucial for our team. Of course, we are a brand new team, we're probably not going to be that quick off the bat, so if we could try and qualify in the top part, well, the top part of the drop zone, that would be good. But if we could get through to Q2, that would be absolutely fantastic, of course. So then we'll head straight out onto the track and see a few other cars going out, so we'll head out and do a flying lap. We're through the last corner. I really struggle with this last corner, to be honest. I always have on every F1 game, but it carries on onto this game as well. So starting us lap then. Currently no one's done a time, so we are P20, but that's also P1 because no one's done a time at all yet. To open the DRS as early as we can as we go the run down towards turn 3, this corner is. Hitting the brakes at around 100 metres. You don't want to brake any later than that. Well, you probably can if you're better than me, but I don't want to brake any later than that, at least in this car. Track is staying a little bit on the exit there. We've actually messed up this corner a little bit. I wanted to take that one flat out, but I went too wide on the entry. Down towards this right hander, then easy again to run wide through here. It's obviously a bit of curb that you can extend on the exit. Correa goes fastest with a 24.8, but Kevin Magnussen's destroyed that straight away. Don't know whereabouts I am in comparison to that so far around this lap, but it's not been a terrible lap. It's been a couple of mistakes. Perez does a 23 now as well, so the AI really going fast in this session compared to us. Pierre Gasly 23. So obviously all the times will come flooding in at the minute. Obviously it's Q1, so all 20 cars out on track. And none of the fast guys have done laps yet. Carlos Sainz does a lap but might actually stop it for a little bit. So here we go then, bit of understeer. Charles Leclerc does the fastest lap because the Ferrari is actually quite good in this game so far. I've locked up a little bit into the penultimate turn, it wasn't the best entrance to it I must say. Try and get on the throttle through this last corner and then running it out to the edge of the track. Coming up towards the line, what's the time going to be? 123, 124, 124.5, so just ahead of Correa there. We'll go for another lap. So towards the line at the end of this second lap then. We improved by around half a tenth there I think. But nothing really massive. So we'll head back to the pits because we've probably not got much ERS. Oh, yeah, we've not got enough fuel left. So we'll head back to the pits then. So I'm out then doing a second run here in qualifying. Me and Correa both at the back, 21st to 22nd, just behind the two Williams cars, but Russell isn't too far ahead, so hopefully we can try and do a better lap and beat Russell. Coming up towards the line then, about half a second underneath the time, and we've got it to 16th, but Grosjean was actually suddenly behind us, so I'm not sure what happened there. Maybe Grosjean's time got deleted, but I looked into the top left and saw Grosjean was behind us, whereas before he was ahead, so we've got up to 16th place there. But obviously I have slowed down now, at the end of that lap. So we'll probably head back to, actually I might do one more lap after this, I'm not too sure, depends how much fuel I've got left. So here we go then for one more attempt. We've got 1.5 laps of fuel, hopefully we don't run out using the max fuel mix. No, we've gone off here. It's not been such a good lap. So that will be the end of our qualifying session then. 16th place so far, but whether we'll drop further down, I'm not too sure. So then, unfortunately, not going through. Obviously, we were on target to actually go through into qualifying 2, being 16th place, but the two Haas cars both improved their times, and I think Giovinazzi did as well. So me and Correa are 19th and 20th, but we are ahead of both the Williams cars, so that is quite good. We were very, very close to getting through. We were half a second away from Magnussen. Magnussen's time was pretty good, but we weren't too far away from Grosjean. We're only 2/10 away from Romain Grosjean, and obviously we did set Haas as our target for this season, so if we can try and be this close to them in the first race, that is very, very good. So let's head into the race now then, and hopefully we can try and beat the Haas cars. So we've actually gone up to Team McLean level 2 here after that qualifying session, so that's very good.
No more testing, no more practice. This is the real deal. And it's make or break here at Albert Park, home of the Australian Grand Prix since 1996. And home to round 1 of this year's Formula One World Championship. Just south of Melbourne's downtown business centre is the one and only Albert Park circuit. 3.3 miles of public roads, closed for the weekend of course, make for a bumpy circuit with little undulation. There are 16 corners around the lake and a couple of good passing opportunities here as well, thanks in part to the DRS zones into turns 1, 3 and 13. Can Mercedes start with victory in their bid to win a 7th consecutive Constructors' title? Could Ferrari or Red Bull establish an advantage early on? And with 22 cars on the grid, how quickly can the new team find their footing? Well, it's great to be back, Anthony Davidson. We've got a lot to talk about this year.
That's right, Crofty. It felt like a long winter, but it's good to finally be back. I have to think the usual suspects will battle it out at the front, but there are always going to be some teething problems early on in the season, so whoever can keep on top of their issues will have the advantage today.
As I mentioned earlier, we're up to 11 teams this season, with a new entry run by, well, of all things, an owner-driver. That's something we haven't seen in this sport since Hector Raback over 4 decades ago. So how are they looking so far?
Ever since their participation was announced, there were questions being asked about whether an outfit like this could survive, and certainly it's proving to be a trial by fire so far. Let's hope they can continue to draw in investment and find a little more pace as well.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Bottas, Vettel, Alexander Albon, and Verstappen, Norris, Sainz, Ricciardo, and Esteban Ocon, Perez, Stroll, Daniel Kvyat, and Gasly, Raikkonen, Magnussen, Romain Grosjean, and Antonio Giovinazzi, a Mercedes, Correa, Russell, and Nicholas Latifi. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
I don't know why Crofty keeps calling me a Mercedes every time I come up. I selected no audio name and I thought it would just call me the owner driver. I thought that's what it's supposed to do, but Crofty keeps calling me a Mercedes every time, so I have no idea why he's doing that exactly. I might have to change my audio name so he doesn't keep saying that, because it's a little bit weird. It's very flattering that he's comparing the biker racing car to the Mercedes, but I think it might be some sort of glitch, unfortunately, then. So let's have a look at the race strategy. So, race strategy introduction there. So it looks like we're doing a one-stop today. Softs to the hards. But then there's also another strategy, which is the mediums to the hards. Now, apparently this one's quicker by 3 seconds. Quite how that is, I don't know. Whether it's it must be a fresh set of soft tyres if we edit this strategy then. So, yeah, it looks like a fresh set of soft tyres pitting on to lap 10. I mean, I'll go with what the team think, then, if that's what they think. But also, we can always change it on the fly to a 2-stop if we need to. But there is only a 1-stop available, just 2 different types of it. So I don't see any reason why we shouldn't get this race started. Then started from P19 on the grid. Let's get this started. So 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. Waiting for the lights to go out here. The lights and away we go. We've actually had a really, really good start. Using some overtake mode. Grosjean's had a pretty bad start, so we got a good run on Grosjean and Magnussen as well. So we've actually had a fantastic start as we go down towards the first corner. Kimi Raikkonen going defensive on the inside, but going around the outside on the Alpha Tauris. I think it is Gasly. Yes, it's Gasly side by side with Pierre. Squeezing him out a little bit. They're very, very close with Pierre, but here comes Pierre. He's got the power, flying straight back past us. And so I think it's a Haas on the inside. Romain Grosjean trying to go past as well, but obviously Haas are our target. It's a yellow flag, so we can't actually re-overtake Grosjean, but the green flag's back out, so we're still driving side by side with Grosjean. Looking behind, we're in front of him, so up into 15th place. So it's been a very, very good start here to the Grand Prix. Oh, we've been hit! Oh, Grosjean! Grosjean just took us out of the race! What has he done? And I've been given a warning for that. Safety car, safety car! That is unbelievable. Romain Grosjean has absolutely destroyed us. Grosjean has completely changed the face of this race already, so there's been a safety car on the first lap of the career because we've been absolutely destroyed by Romain Grosjean after a fantastic start. It was a great start up into P15, but Grosjean has just hit us at the back and just spun us straight around. I don't know whether I moved over on him or whatever. I don't think I did, so I'm not too sure. I tried to look at the replay, but I couldn't see it. It had been too long, so it was just showing me spinning out. So finally getting around to the pits, and we're going into the pits. I think Grosjean is also in the pits. Obviously, he's probably got some damage. So I'm going to go on to the medium tyres here, then going to make it still just a normal one stop, but it'll be a two stop in effect because we'll have stopped here under the safety car, but this is effectively a free pit stop that we had to make anyway because of the damage that Grosjean has caused to our car. Not sure what Grosjean was doing at all. It was a completely crazy move. But here we go then, out the pits we go. So next tyres will be the hard tyres that we'll put on. We'll do the other strategy that was an option.
Let's get some heat into those tyres.
But I can't believe that. I can't believe Grosjean's done this. And these tyres are so cold, just understeering off the track. I have to try and get some heat into them under the safety car. So the safety car is coming in on this lap, so we've got to try and get as close as we can to Grosjean because I want to try and get back in front of him off this safety car restart. Obviously our race has been changed quite a bit. I mean, we lost, well, I was going to say 5 places, but actually we're 22nd because usually there'd only be 20 cars. But yeah, so we've lost 7 places from Grosjean taking us out. I can see Correa a couple of cars up ahead, so my target today is to still try and beat Correa. Hopefully we can, and it'd be nice to try and beat the Haas cars, but obviously they weren't too thrilled about that being a prospect. So we're right behind Grosjean now, putting up to standard mix again, prepare to resume racing. Oh, my rear tyre is actually still a little cold. I've been doing plenty of weaving, but don't know if it was enough. Use some overtake button.
To utilize some of this energy.
I literally decided to use it just as Jeff was telling me to use it. So let's disable it as we go into the first corner then. Oh, the car understeering quite a bit, so I don't know if we picked up some damage that couldn't be repaired at the pit stop. These tyres are still pretty cold as well. So then we're kind of stuck behind Grosjean, who is stuck behind the 2 Williams cars. You can see Correa actually getting away with a pack in front. I think it's being led by an AlphaTauri, I believe. There we go, we've got a good run on Grosjean down towards the section where he took me out on the first lap. But we can't quite get past him there. All over the back of Grosjean now. Grosjean's looking at the inside of Russell into the penultimate turn. I'm going to try and get the switch back on him if I can. Oh, I've almost hit Grosjean at the back. I need to make sure I didn't pick up any damage. I don't know if I actually did hit him or not. I don't think I did. I don't think I did, fortunately. Once again, we're using quite a bit of overtake mode here to try and stay as close as we can.
DRS is now online.
DRS online. We're close right up to Grosjean. Will we get any DRS on him? No, we won't, but we've got a really good run. We're using a lot of overtake mode to go towards the inside into turn 3, having a look up the inside of Grosjean. So close with him. He's still on the outside. Looks like he actually might have a bit of gravel on his tyres. I didn't see him go. Oh, Grosjean! Grosjean's crashed into us again! Is he going to be damaged? No, he's not, but he turned right through a left-hand corner. Grosjean! What is Grosjean doing in this race? Absolute madman. Here we go again then. Once again, we've got a really, really good run on Grosjean down towards turn 3. This time I'm proper diving it on Grosjean. I'm not having any of it from him. So we're past Grosjean now. We're up into 21st place. George Russell in the Williams up next then. So we're all over the back of Russell now. We almost lost the rear on that curb. And that will have cost us a bit of drive down this straight. We've not got much ERS left either. We've only got 60%. So I'm trying to save some ERS now behind Russell, because we'll need to burn some to try and catch up to the group in front, because it's quite a big pack and Correa is at the back of it. So hopefully if Correa can hold on to the back of it, we should be able to try and catch it up, because we were a bit quicker than him. So here we go then, we've got a really good run on Russell. He's going defensive. I'm going to go for the outside then. Hopefully Latifi doesn't block me. Oh, Russell's gone really, really deep into the corner. We're trying to drive around the outside of Russell. We've still got the outside, a bit like what we did to Grosjean on lap 1. We're past him. Hopefully Russell doesn't do what Grosjean did to me on lap 1. But there we go, we're up into P20 now, behind the other Williams of Nicholas Latifi. Oh, Sainz is in the pits then. Sainz in the pits, someone else in the pits as well, although we are coming towards the lap 10, which would have been our pit stop. So we're in front of Ricciardo as well. I think some of the top guys, yeah, there's a Red Bull and a Ferrari just ahead of Latifi, so they're already a whole pit stop ahead of us, even with the safety car. That's how much time we've lost behind Latifi, Russell and Grosjean. So you've got the DRS on Latifi, then Latifi not going defensive. It looked like he was going to initially. Oh, he's locked up though. Oh, we had to lock up to not hit him. And now Daniel Ricciardo is all over the back of us. I might let Ricciardo through on the front straight, because obviously we're not racing with Ricciardo at all. He's just a car that's come out the pits. Another car ahead is pitted. I think it might be Correa by the looks of the colour. No, it's Kimi Raikkonen. So it's a slightly dark, yeah, it's a darker red. Obviously, it's the Alfa Romeo. Here we've got new ahead of Norris coming out the pits, and then obviously then there's Albon in front coming out as well. Right in front of Latifi. That actually might give Latifi some DRS with Albon coming out the pits, but we're using the DRS. We're using the overtake button to the left-hand side of Latifi. Hopefully Albon doesn't get in my way. Around the outside of Latifi, then trying to disable the overtake button and went in a little bit hot. Where is he? Oh, there he is. We've got in front of Latifi now, so up into 13th right now, but obviously we haven't made our official first pit stop yet, so we are a little bit out of sync with some of the cars around us. Obviously we did do one stop under the safety car, but it's not the same thing because we just put on a medium set of tyres instead of a hard set, because I don't think we would have been able to take it to the end from that point. Correa is now in. Of course, I forgot, it tells you when your teammate comes in. So what place is that going to leave us in? We're actually in the top 10 now, 9th place ahead of Perez, but Ricciardo is coming really fast. I think I'm going to let him through on the next straight, although I might not need to because I made a bit of a mistake. Oh, Ricciardo! Oh, he's almost hit us at the back there, but go through, Daniel. There we go, let Ricciardo through. Obviously don't want to really hold him up, there's no reason to do that. These tyres feel horrendous now. Let's have a look at the wear on them. Yeah, they are really, really worn, so I'm guessing we'll be coming in for our pit stop very, very shortly. Another car coming on the pits is Lance Stroll. So up into 9th place now. Gasly's only just come into the pit, so we're now up into 8th place. Here comes Norris, then we're going to let Norris through. I think I might actually box at the end of this lap, because the tyres are getting quite worn, so Norris goes through. Oh, Sainz trying to go around the outside as well. I didn't mean to create such a problem with Carlos there. He's still not got through yet. Carlos has gone through. One of the racing points, Perez tried to go through as well. I think Stroll trying to drive around the outside of me. I'll try and let them all through in a second. It's just kind of an awkward place for them to catch me. So yeah, I think I'll box because look at the tyre wear. And I think the hard tyre might have been the mandatory tyre. I'm not too sure. So I don't want to obviously accidentally not use the mandatory tyre. So we'll come in and we'll use it just to cover myself. Otherwise I probably would have stayed out a bit longer and gone softs again at the end. So here we are for our second pit stop, but our first one in green flag conditions. So Raikkonen going past us there. Magnussen, Giovinazzi. There we go, green light. We can go out the pit. So ahead of Russell and Grosjean right now, but Russell and Grosjean are there. So then they're going to actually have jumped us. I think we've lost time.
Clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross.
Latifi's just gone past us as well, so we definitely lost a lot of time from that. Ocon is in last place apparently, so what's happened to Ocon I don't know. But yeah, we've got to pass those three guys all over again. Oh, Albon's out the race, Albon's out the race. If a safety car comes out I'm going to be so annoyed because I've literally just pitted. But I don't think one is, so I think it's alright. So we're up into 21st, well we're already in 21st, we'll be up into 20th place from that. So this is the section where he stopped then. Looks like just a mechanical failure, so he's pulled off in a safe place, which would be why there's no safety car or virtual safety car. So we've got a good run on Latifi here. Uses some overtake mode, using the DRS to the outside of Latifi, back up into 19th place now. So Grosjean is next, then Russell. So coming to the end of the 16th lap then. It looks like I'm going to do my personal best lap of the race on this lap. Yes, we have. So we look like we've got some good pace on these hard tyres actually.
Some breathing space between you and the car behind by a few seconds per lap.
So here we go then, all over the back of Grosjean, using some DRS, using some overtake. We are using quite a bit of overtake. I think Grosjean's trying to make a move on Russell at the same time. Grosjean's locked up quite badly there and he's ran wide. That's allowed us to get the switchback sliding through the corner there. So past Grosjean, up into 18th place. Russell's up next. I want to get past Russell though. I want to try and hunt down, I think it's Correa in ahead. I really want to beat my teammate here in this race. I want to get past Russell, I want to hunt him down. We've got an amazing run on Russell here with some overtake mode, some DRS around the outside of Russell. Hitting the brakes for this right hand, and then we've got ahead of him. I'm actually still using the overtake mode, I don't want to. So we're in front of Russell now, up into 17th place. Up next is Correa, but he's very, very far in front. We need to try and catch him up. We're within DRS of Correa now, so it's taken a long, long time, but we have caught him up with 4 laps to go within the DRS. He's dropped a little bit back from that train. Oh, Latifi's out of the session.
They're retiring from the race.
So Latifi's retired, but we're all over the back of Correa now. Correa has actually got DRS off the group ahead. He's actually caught them back up again now, so it's going to be a big dogfight for the last few laps. Oh, here's the yellow flag for Latifi then. So yeah, it was just a retirement. It looks like no collision. Ocon is not too far behind as well. I don't know if he'll catch us before the end of the race, but it's definitely worth watching the gap with Ocon, because obviously he was last place earlier on. He got through that group and he's catching up a little bit to us. Here we go then, we're all over the back of Correa, actually tapping him a little bit up the back. In the slipstream we go, going towards the outside of turn 3. He's going for a move on Gasly. He's actually hit into Gasly. He's hit Gasly. He's used Gasly as a bit of a blocker, which has stopped me from getting through. So I suppose fair play to Correa, but it's a very interesting tactic. But we've got a really, really good run on him. Are we going to be able to do anything towards this corner? No, I don't think so. So we have to sit behind again, but we are getting towards the end of the race. Obviously 28 out of 29. There's not much time left, so we do need to try and get past Correa as soon as we can. He's going defensive again, which actually just holding us both up. I don't think I'll be able to get anywhere higher than this place now. I was hoping that maybe I'll be able to get past him and get past some of the other drivers in the group. But I've been sat behind him for a few laps. It is very, very difficult to pass, especially now my tyres are going off quite a bit. So here we go then on the last lap. Are we going to go for the move on Correa? We've got to have a go up the inside to turn 3, but we couldn't quite do it. We have to disable the ERS. And I think that's going to be it. I don't think we're able to get him now, obviously because of what he did on the previous lap with Gasly. Bottas wins the race. Oh, Correa's locked up. That's cost him a bit of time. We're all over the back of him now, but Ocon's all over the back of me as well. So we've got to watch out for Esteban Ocon. So here we go then. We've got the slipstream, we've got the DRS, we've got the overtake mode, but we're just not close enough to Correa to make a move. Obviously, he's my teammate as well, so I don't want to be too aggressive with him. Towards the penultimate turn, we're looking at the inside. Oh, almost hitting into the back of him, but it's not going to be enough. So we're going to have to sit behind him. So it's going to be 17th place in this first race, unless Ocon can obviously get us up towards the line, but I don't think he can. So unfortunately then, we couldn't quite beat our teammate in this first race.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Ferme.
Correa actually getting driver of the day as well there.
Another superb Australian Grand Prix comes to an end, and it's a thoroughly deserved victory. So Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
Well, the safety car completely changed the race, didn't it? It's hard to say exactly what would have happened without it, but there's no question that they came out of that situation in a good position.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take top spot, a well-earned victory for Mercedes.
So a pretty eventful race then for our first race of my team career mode. Unfortunately, we couldn't quite beat Correa. Obviously, Correa started 20th, I started 19th, so we both gained quite a few positions there, but our race obviously was really ruined by Grosjean on the first lap. We lost so much time. We lost a lot of time behind them in the first stint as well, so that is partially down to me not being able to make the moves, but I actually didn't like the medium tyres so much. I really, really liked the hard tyres. The hard tyres on the car worked fantastically, so I'm glad we pitted when we did, because I think if we pitted earlier, the hard tyres would have been too destroyed at the end. So it was a good time to pit, really. But obviously, yeah, it was an interesting race. We probably could have got a little bit higher up because we caught up to that pack. We caught 8 seconds up to Correa and that, so we definitely had better pace. If you look at the fastest lap, there is a 10th in it, actually. So Correa's fastest lap, not too bad. They did pick up their pace once they got back into the DRS train. But yeah, the group with Magnussen, Giovinazzi, Gasly, Correa and myself. Obviously, Ocon joining in right at the back there. Not sure what happened to Ocon, but obviously he was all of a sudden last place. I'm guessing he had a collision at some point with someone. Perhaps he had a collision with Albon, and maybe that's why Albon was out of the race, but I thought Albon's retirement looked like it was just one of those things, just an engine failure then. So if we do have a look at the constructor standings, then obviously we are actually ahead of Williams because both of our drivers beat both of the Williams cars. We are currently behind Haas though. We are drawing with them really. We're on the same number of points. Obviously AlphaTauri, Alfa Romeo, Haas, ourselves and Williams all have 0 points there then. Obviously driver standings exactly the same as the race results. So I'll have a look at the replay because I want to see what Grosjean actually did to me on that first lap. So this is on board with Grosjean and he goes to the left and then just steers right into my car. Like, I was fully in front so I can move over, and I wasn't really moving over. I was just following the normal racing line. That's what you normally do through that section of the track. But Grosjean has tried to go through a gap that's always closed. It's already closed at this point. There's not enough room for him to fit his car through at this point. You can see if you look at the front of my car. But then, obviously, as it gets closer, Grosjean then just turns right, obviously to try and avoid the grass, just into my car and just spins me out. Such a weird crash. Obviously, that ruined both of our races, really, in effect. But it's such a strange crash to happen on the first lap of a Grand Prix, let alone the first race of the season. But it is Grosjean, of course, so I suppose that is to be expected to a certain extent. So we have a look at it from the TV cameras then. So it does kind of look like I moved over on Grosjean, but maybe I did a little bit. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, whether I caused that crash or not. I think it was Grosjean's fault, because I was just following the normal racing line, and that's what I did on every lap, going from that right-hand side to the left, because that's just what you're supposed to do. But Grosjean goes for a gap that was never there. If there was room when he started to go for it and I pushed it on the grass, then fair enough, you could say it was my fault, I think. But there was never the gap there. Like, it was there before I started to move over. I started to move over and it's closing. It's gone before Grosjean's got his front wing alongside. And it just turns right into me. It's such a weird crash. And then he hits me again afterwards, which is even... I think that's actually what gave him the damage. He didn't have damage before, but it's then when he's turned in this point. So I'm glad he got a bit of damage from that too.
Good day today. Let's have your take on it. Why do you think you weren't as quick as your teammate today?
So then, it doesn't seem like we've got the answer that I want to say that Grosjean took me out. So I need to go back and look at the footage. I've now made a few mistakes. They were more consistent. I'm just going to go with that. Oh, the acclaim was affected. That probably wasn't great.
It wasn't the cleanest race today, was it?
And again, I think I picked the wrong one.
You scraped the walls a few times. Were you struggling for grip?
No comment for that one.
Great. Well, that's everything.
So our claim still went up anyway, so I don't think it was too bad that we picked those options. And having a look at the money, so we got 10k minus on the damage deductions, but luckily Correa didn't have any damage. But we do gain some money, so we're up to 2.45 million from that weekend. So not long till the next race then. So we've got enough time to do some activities, so we'll put some activities in then. What shall we put in here? So this one gains 100 driver acclaim. This one puts 1 awareness on Correa. Sponsor event. So that takes off 5k but gives us 100 acclaim. An aero team building actually gives the department morale 5% on the aerodynamics, but it does cost 5k again. I think I'll go for the sponsor event just to get some more acclaim for us. So if we have a look at the R&D tree then, we've now got 945 resource points. So we've got this one already. We're waiting for these two to come in, but I think this ignition system will be in very, very shortly. We can't do anything else on the power units. If we have a look at the chassis, it's 40% failure chance and a 40% failure chance on here as well. So 500 for an upgrade on here, 550 for an upgrade on the chassis. So if we have a look at the aerodynamics then, what can we go for? Can we go for... I'll go for one of these. So I'll go for the front wing. The car actually felt very good in the race, I will be honest. So we'll develop that. So 6th of April, that should come in then. If we have a look at the corporate then. We actually had a new sponsor, so I don't know how long we've been able to do that for. I'm guessing it was just after this race and because we got to level 2 acclaim. So we'll add a secondary sponsor then. I think I'm going to go for this one here because the goal is quite easy to complete a race with no DNFs. And the weekly income is still pretty good anyway. So I'm going to go for this one. I'm going to assign this as our second sponsor then. So we'll advance up until the Bahrain Grand Prix then.
As we continue to increase our acclaim, more potential partners become willing to work with us. We can now approach an additional sponsor from the corporate tab.
So I've just been told about the sponsor, but I'd already gone and found that already myself, so that's quite funny. But I think one of the R&D upgrades failed then. So yes, it did. So the ignition system failed, so we will develop that part then again. So it costs 262 resource points. Develop upgrade, so it shouldn't fail again, so that's quite good, but that's a little bit frustrating. So here we go then, we've advanced all the way till the Bahrain Grand Prix. So that's where I'll end off the episode there then. So that is the second episode done, the first race of the season. I hope you guys did enjoy that one. A very hectic race, obviously, with the crash with Grosjean fighting through the field the whole time. We couldn't quite beat Correa at the end. He obviously did a bit of a weird thing where he hit Gasly, which actually blocked me. That did annoy me a little bit, but he is my teammate. Can't get too annoyed at him, and it's always good to get a decent result for both cars. Obviously he didn't damage the car or anything like that, so you can't be too annoyed. I obviously did have damage, but that wasn't really my fault, that was Grosjean's fault. But do let me know what you actually thought of that crash in the comments below. If you thought it was my fault, fair enough, let me know. But like I said, I hope you did enjoy that video then, guys. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Hope you're all staying safe, and I shall see you in the next video.